Once upon a time in the land of Canaan, there lived a man named Jacob. Jacob had many sons, and his favorite was Joseph, who was born to him in his old age. Jacob loved Joseph so much that he made him a beautiful coat of many colors. But Jacob's other sons grew very jealous of Joseph. And to make matters worse, Joseph also had dreams. He told his brothers, "Listen to this dream I had. One day we were all binding sheaves in the field, and my sheaf stood upright. Then your sheaves bowed down to my sheaf. Then Jacob and his sons went to the fields to check on their crops, and they all bowed down before Joseph's sheaf. This made Joseph's brothers even angrier, and they started calling him the dreamer. One day, Jacob sent Joseph to check on his brothers in the fields. When they saw him coming, they all sneered and said, 'Here comes the dreamer. Let's kill him and throw his body into this pit.' So they took off Joseph's coat and threw him into the pit. Then they sat on a stone nearby to wait for someone to pass by. By and by, some traveling merchants came by, and Joseph's brothers sold him to them for 20 pieces of silver. They took Joseph to Egypt, and there they sold him into slavery. Before they left, they dipped Joseph's coat in goat's blood and brought it back to Jacob. When Jacob saw the blood and the torn coat, he cried out, 'Oh, my son Joseph is gone. I am so sad I might go blind with grief.' Joseph was taken to the palace of Potiphar, an officer of Pharaoh. He served Potiphar faithfully despite many hardships, and soon Potiphar trusted him and put him in charge of his household. But Potiphar's wife falsely accused Joseph of trying to sleep with her, and Joseph was thrown into prison. Even in prison, Joseph's wisdom shone as he interpreted the dreams of his fellow prisoners. One was a baker, and he predicted that the baker would be put to death for his sin of taking Pharaoh's bread, and that the cupbearer would be released and given charge over Pharaoh's wine. Just as Joseph had said, the baker was put to death, and the cupbearer was released and given charge over Pharaoh's wine. Pharaoh then had strange dreams of cows and ears of grain, but no one could explain them until Joseph was called. With God's help, Joseph interpreted Pharaoh's dreams. He said that 7 years of great plenty would be followed by 7 years of famine. So Pharaoh made Joseph second in command over all of Egypt to prepare for the coming famine. When the famine began, Jacob sent his 10 sons to Egypt to buy food. They bowed down before Joseph, but he did not recognize them, tested them, but eventually he revealed his true identity and said, "I am Joseph, your brother whom you sold into Egypt." Then Joseph forgave them and said, "What you meant for harm, God meant for good." Jacob and all his family moved to Egypt, and they were finally reunited. Joseph's life teaches us that even when people hurt us, God can turn our struggles into blessings. His faith in God, his forgiveness of his brothers, and his wisdom in interpreting dreams saved not only Egypt, but also his own family.